So, welcome to Salesforce Mars Colony. This is a multi-video series where we are creating a project that models a Mars colony. This is spurred by a large interest personally in the new space exploration efforts and space commercialization that are really being pushed by people like Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos, and many more smaller companies. So hope we learn a lot, and we're going to learn some functionality and get hands-on. And so now we'll jump into our org. And started a little bit of setup, but I'll show you what I did. I went to setup, and we're going to do the initial steps of setting up our colony. So that would start with our settings, company settings, which would be our colony settings. And if we expand this, we're going to find business hours. And the first thing I did was modified the default business hours, assuming that Mars is going to need to receive communications at all times. I just created it to be a 24/7 shop all the way down the board, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And time zone, I'm actually going to change that to Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, none of these would apply on the moon, but that's the time zone that I'm in. So I'm going to save that. Also, I went to company information, which would be the information of basically our colony. And so the changes I made in here, if you want to edit these, you just go to edit, and then organization name is Mars Colony, contact is myself, the address right here, and same thing here. Basically all standard stuff. We're going to assume we're speaking English, and we're going to have an Eastern Standard Time Zone, and we're going to use the English USD currency. So all of that can be changed right here. And also, just to see, I am using a developer org, so these are the licenses that are available. We're going to deal with these once we start building out the colony a little bit more. We're going to create another new user. All right, so I've put in my personal, I put in an email that I could access, and then I'm just going to call Bob Texas with 2 S's. That's going to be his nickname, and he also is with the Mars City Colony. And again, with him, his role is not going to be specified, but I am going to make him a platform user. This is going to be one of our main guys and gals. And so going through here, this is things that we do not need to really add yet. I'm just setting up some people to use. Now you'll see my email was actually matching my username, so I'm changing the username, and usernames have to end in a @ so I'm just gonna make it bobtexas1@gmail.com, and I'm gonna save that. And so I'm gonna create one more temporary user. I have Sarah Nashville, Bob Texas, Taylor Green, myself, and who will our 4th people? Let's assume it's a team of 4 at the very beginning. We'll add more, of course. All right, so it's Penny, California will be joining us. And so we have 2 male, 2 female staff of the first 4 people on our Mars colony. Holding it down, I'm gonna throw in some email. Mars City. This person, again, I'm not gonna make a role just yet. This checkbox means they're active user. Later on, I might make them a marketing user or knowledge user. That's just as we build out the colony. So for now, I'm just leaving them there. I'm going to make them a Salesforce platform user. And all this, we can leave blank for now. And boom. We now have Penny, California. Okay, so now I need to go to my email and activate these people. Once you create new users in Salesforce, it's going to send you an email to activate them and create your password. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, so you get an email that looks something like this. And then I have another one because I created more users. This is Penny, California, so I'll go ahead and verify that account. Okay. What city were you born? And we'll just say Earth. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so this account is now created and I'm logged in as Penny, California. And you can see this user has no role, so basically access to not much of anything. I haven't set up any permissions or profiles, so for now this is fine. Now I'm going to activate everyone else as well. I'm going to activate Bob, Texas. All right, Bob, Texas has been created. We were logged in as Bob, Texas, and I'm going to do one more. One thing I forgot to do is I had the tester, Sarah Nashville. I need to reset her password. So it says easy as going to users, user, and you can reset password right here. And it will send an email to the email on file, and you can reset your password there. All right, and then here it is. You get this email asking to reset password. Okay, so we have all of our members created. These are going to be the first 4 people of our Mars Colony team, and we're going to give them all jobs to do, but that's going to be based off of what the colony really is. We're basically going to make 3 or 4 modules on a whiteboard and then kind of get a look at what the Mars Colony is. And then we're going to give a job to myself, Bob, Texas, Penny, California, and Sarah, Nashville. First things first is there has to be a landing zone for new ships to come drop off stuff and also to refuel and go back to Earth or the moon. This will be called the space station. X marks the spot. New space shuttles can land there when they're bringing materials, and they can also refuel. So let's say there's some like fuel pods over here and some sort of like mechanism to create fuel. So all of this is basically the first section. This will be managed by Sarah in Nashville. Secondly, so a lot of colonization efforts would first start with research. So we'll call a little lab, basically some sort of like tube that's sitting here, and it'll have little doors and some windows, let's say. Basically some sort of like room, excuse my drawing, maybe some solar panels, a beautiful lab. This will be a research facility, and that will be ran by myself. So we also have Bob, Texas, who, let's say he's in charge of doing exploration missions. This will reflect his duties. Basically means to go search for stuff. So anytime something needs to be done outside that takes some effort of some sort, that will go into Bob. Okay, and then something that we can't forget about would be food. So we're gonna have a agriculture type department where we're gonna grow all sorts of food in like a hydroponic center, or like waterless farming. That's a big thing right now. Maybe some apples and lettuce and all that good stuff. Maybe some windows. This will be our food station. This will be ran by Penny, California. So we have the 4 units. The 1 unit that we can make that no one needs to run is our sleeping quarters, just over here. And I'm just gonna put beds, or these could be cubicles, more likely little small rooms, and this will be bed station. And realistically, in a Mars colony, these would all represent tunnels that connect to each other. So you never have to go outside, and you just kind of walk between all the different units, except for where Bob, Texas is doing field and outdoor research, and we'll also make him a construction guy too. So we'll call him field and construction. He will be the engineering specialist, let's say. The food station is cut off a little bit. we have these 5 modules, and following up in the next videos, we're going to eventually build an app for each one of these that will mimic functionality. But for now, we're going to just set out the layout for this kind of stuff. We're going to need a lot of objects and custom objects and some workflows, and we'll eventually put that all together and bring it into the Salesforce Mars Colony. The app launcher, and you see there are a lot of objects here. Most of these we won't be using in the Mars Colony, at least not right away. I do want to make a lot of custom objects that will be used in each of the modules that we just outlined. Where we would go to make that happen is in setup, which is accessed here, and then object manager. And so you see we have these objects currently here. These are all standard objects, and I'm looking through to see if there's any of these that I could use or repurpose for this project, but because a Mars Colony is such a specialized product, we're going to need to create custom objects. So just for starters, I will go ahead and create the bed station object. So this is basically just going to represent beds that are in our sleeping quarters. So we're going to call it bed station, and bed stations is plural because eventually we'll have more than one bed station. I'll say this is where the astronauts will sleep. Each station has room for 4. Okay, so this is going to be a text record, and we'll have who has what bed. So right now I'll make bed station custom object, and there will be 0 beds, but I'll create records, and each record will reflect a bed. So there'll be 4 beds currently. So it's just going to be text, record name is bed station. We are going to allow this for reports because eventually we will run reports on these kind of things. And we don't need to allow activities or track field history specifically. This is a pretty simple one, and we're going to go ahead and have it deployed. Okay, so now with a custom object, we can go ahead and create some customizations for it. So field relationships, so it has no fields. We can now make a custom field by going here to new, and I'm going to have a text just saying a text field for bed owner. Who owns that bed? So this will be bed owner. Let's just say maximum length 15. It doesn't really matter so much. Description: this person owns a bed in the bed station. Who owns this bed? And you always need to require a name. We're not going to create any new beds without a bed owner. Okay, and for now we're just have it visible across all of the different profiles because we will do profiles later. And save again. Now we have bed owner. We're also going to have a field that represents the bed number. I'm thinking it'll be better just to have bed station as an object, and then we just have maybe station number and then bed number. So everything is under the bed station object instead of multiple bed stations for each module that we add to the colony. So I'm going to go ahead and add a number field, and I'm just going to call it, well, I'll name this bed number, so I just know what number bed that we're looking at. Okay, I'm using help text, just very simple, and required because we do need to know what bed number it is. So again, I'll do security profiles later. So page layout. After you make a custom field, you need to go to page layout and put it where we'd like to see it. Okay, so we're looking at our object now, and you see in the details section it has bed station and bed owner, and also bed number. Um, so, so this is a fine amount of information. It's just a very basic object for now. User interface tabs, and we're going to create a tab for the bed station module. So there's just different kind of tabs that you can make. This will be just a custom object tab. Come here, you see bed station, style, you can just give it anything. What's something that looks like a bed? Maybe a desk. And this gets you to the bed station module. Okay, right now it's going to be just on for all profiles. We'll probably want to leave it that way as well. Next and next. Okay, so now we have that tab made, and when we go to the app launcher, we're going to see bed stations. So we need 4 beds basically for our 4 astronauts. So this is just our list view here, and I'm going to create a couple of records. So bed station, bed owner. So this is bed station 1. Right now we only have 1 bed station. Bed owner, this will be my bed, Taylor Green, and I have bed number 1. Okay, so I'm going to save that. And here's my record. Now if you go to the bed stations tab, you have bed station 1. Again, I'm going to alter the list view at some point to show me meaningful information here. So next I'm going to go ahead and say bed station 1 again, bed owner, maybe Penny, California, and she'll have bed number 2. And you can also use the save new button when you're adding more records. You can see I have a limit here on how many characters, so I actually can't add the can't even do the last one here, so I'm just going to leave that. I'll have to remind myself to go back and extend the character limit. So I'll do save as new. Now again, bed station 1, we have Bob, Texas, and he'll have bed number 3. Okay, save. And I'm forgetting who our last person is, so let me go to setup, go to users, and oh, Sarah Nashville, of course. So bed station, I'm going to create one more, and it's going to be bed station 1 again. Bed owner is going to be Sarah Nashville, and she'll have bed 4. So the thing here is that it's going to have me as the record owner, but you can think of that as like the manager or just someone creating the record, but this bed is owned by Sarah Nashville with that custom field that I placed there. And this bed station tab is not really helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new list view. I'm going to call it bed station control, and I'll say all users can see this list view. And what I'm going to do is show some different fields here. So select fields to display. I will want to see the bed owner, bed number, and I want to see the bed owner first, and then their bed number, then the bed station. Alright, so this is our bed station module. These are our 4 astronauts, and I'm going to go ahead and pin this. So every time I go to the bed station control list view from the bed station tab here from the app launcher, I can see who's in which bed and their bed station. And this is going to be a very simple bed station module. Okay, so that's all for this first video, and the next video we're going to build out the next module, probably the landing pad. You know, that will have a couple of different functions for incoming and outgoing spaceships, as well as a refueling type of process, which we'll just write it out on the whiteboard and then mimic it into our org here. So for now, that is all, and I'll see you all in the next